Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Complete My Collection Challenge. This is a series dedicated to hunting down the Funko Pop Grails that I've wanted in my collection for a while now, but I'm starting with a $0 budget. The last episode, which ended up being the last video, I visited Evasive Studios and I ended up picking up a really awesome pop to check off my list. Go and check out that video if you haven't already. With my current balance of $52.24, I, actually sold something since the last video. It was the Rick O'Connell pop from The Mummy. After fees, I ended up getting $39.16, bringing my new balance to $91.40. By the way, folks, happy 4th of July. This weekend, my favorite stores, Entertainmart, are having a sale, and that means we could potentially find some good stuff for the inventory to sell at a discounted price. So we're gonna go to those stores, a couple of different thrift stores, and I guess we'll see what I find. And without any further ado, guys, let's get it started. Here we go. Starting off at a Savers thrift store, guys, going through all the different things that they have available. So essentially, they have Mr. Incredible right here. Not a terrible one by any means, but a little bit of an older one for the Incredibles 2 movie. They're asking $10.99 for it. I think it probably goes for around like $8. So I don't think this is one that I want to pick up today. But going into their out-of-box section, guys, to kind of see some of the stuff that they have this, I think it's like a version of Finn, obviously, from Star Wars, and a Happy Meal toy. We also have one of the COVID pops. This is one of like the responder pops or the nurse pops. If you guys didn't know, they made some of those. Kind of a random one, kind of a little bit of moment of history. We have a Rey right there and also an Elsa from Frozen. Fortunately, those are not worth picking up, but ended up going to another Savers, guys, and found a couple of interesting things. We have Steve Trevor right here from Wonder Woman. Not one worth picking up either. This box is a little bit like grody, a little bit gross. And we also have, I don't know if you guys remember these. These were like Happy Meal toys back in the day at McDonald's. I believe this is one of them with the little like VHS like clam shells. You'll have to let me know if you remember those down below. We found this really cool Buzz Lightyear figure I thought was kind of fun. Put that one to the side, but they had a lot of different out-of-box pops here. Starting, this isn't a pop, but this is one of the Five Below mystery minis with the clear window. A lot of different video game pops were here out of box as well. So some Overwatch stuff right here. All of them were around like $5.49. Some of them were like $6. But keep going down, guys. We have a Jack Skellington right here. Not a video game related pop, but a fun one nonetheless. We have an All Might right here from My Hero Academia. Unfortunately, not worth picking up either. And then we also have a Devil Jin, which honestly, this is a cool one, guys. A little bit of an older, harder to find video game pop from Tekken, GameStop exclusive. I think out of box, this is a pretty good one to pick up. So I think I'm going to get it. We also have a Fortnite pop right there. I think that's the Cuddle Team leader, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, lots of video game pops, some Marvel stuff. We have Carnage right there. Cher, kind of a random one as well. Another Overwatch pop. We have a bigger one over here as well. I'm not quite sure the name of this one, but it was the same price as all the other ones, even though it was a bigger pop. But this Devil Jin is definitely a solid one for sure. So I think I'm going to pick that one up. Definitely a solid find. We're going over to Deseret Industries, and in their case, they had a couple of really fun pops here that I thought were kind of random that they were there. But we have Orem and also the San Francisco Giants Jack. We'll talk about that here in a second, but I think I'm going to pick up that Jack for $7. The Orem's not a bad one either, but the box had some damage. Those baby dolls are really darn creepy. I wonder if they're ones that you use in like a college like class or something like that. But either way, you never know what you're going to find at Deseret Industries. And then they had a couple of other pops in a different case, guys. So it looks like somebody had donated their DIY Grinch pop, all colored up and everything, but not a bad find at thrift stores. Alrighty, guys, so a couple of different thrift store finds. Did I expect to find this special event San Francisco Giants exclusive at a thrift store in Utah? No, not necessarily, but for $7, this is a great deal. And also the Devil Jin from Tekken is a great one. Like I said, we'll review it more once I get back into the office, but regardless, I think these are some pretty solid finds.
The next day.
Alrighty, folks, Entertainmart Independence Day sale. Hoping to find some good deals, obviously. During these sales, guys, if you didn't know, 33% off the yellow tags, which honestly, I find deals regardless of the sale. But to have that extra bonus added onto that, an extra discount, is a plus in my book. So let's head on in and we'll see what I can find. Entertainmart number one, guys, starting off with the out-of-box stuff right here. We found some Cuphead things. Candy Carnation isn't a bad one, and considering the discount, $3.99 minus the 33% isn't bad. Found an out-of-box Patrick right here. The Christmas version of him is pretty darn fun. I also found this Cuphead pop, which if I can bundle these together, I think Candy Carnation and Cuphead out-of-box will do pretty darn well. It's cheap enough that I think I want to pick these up. This would have been a great pickup if it had like the other piece that was missing, the other arm. I think it holds Cortana, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, those two Cuphead pops are pretty solid. I think cheap enough that I would take a risk on them. And then over in their new section right here, guys, they had a couple of different Stranger Things pops. These ones were okay. Decided to pass on these. Argo was probably the better one out of the two, but they had some newer pops as well over here. Nothing that I could take advantage of during the sale in this section, but in their more valuable case, they had a couple different things like the sexy Dr. Ian Malcolm. We have the Dustin at the Snowball, a couple different things here and there. Another Orem is kind of funny. We found that at a thrift store. Five Nights at Freddy's, a Cagney Carnation inbox. So if you guys want to take a look at some of the stuff that they have in their more valuable case, a couple of decent things here and there. We have a Pillsbury Doughboy, honestly not worth picking up. This one used to have a little bit better value. I think it used to be like a $30 pop, but it's gone down in value. A lot of things have definitely gone down in value, but you can still find some good deals. We have Hellboy right here. I know there's some Hellboy pops that have some pretty good value. This one was kind of like borderline. I think it goes for around like $18 or so, but not a bad one nonetheless. And then over in some other sections, I was finding some other things here and there. If you guys didn't know, the 8-bit version of Freddy Krueger and Jason's actually the better one out of the two. This one's not bad either. It's around an $18 pop. They're asking a 10 for it. With the discount, that might have been a decent pickup. I may have wanted to pick that one up, but a couple other things. We have Gil, and we also have that Kevin Smith right there. Kevin Smith might have been a decent one to pick up as well. An older one that I don't see very often in the form of Fraggle Rock right here, guys. We have Uncle Traveling Matt. I wanted to make sure that I said that correctly. That's a mouthful. He's got a really long name. But Fraggle Rock, if you ever find those for cheap, some of those actually have some pretty decent value. Over in their cart right here, guys, they had some brand new pops that they were about to put out. They had some Mr. Robot pops. This one was a borderline pickup for sure. I don't know. I was kind of 50-50 about it. They had a couple other Mr. Robot pops on the other section of this little cart right here. A couple of decent pops with the Mr. Freeze and this Chase. I mean, okay ones, but the other Mr. Robot pops that they had Elliot Anderson right here. Goes for around $25, and also Mr. Robot's around like a $30 pop. I decided to pass on those ones because I was finding some other deals that we'll show off here in a second. More Cowbell's not a bad one either, guys. That's one of Will Ferrell's characters on SNL, if you guys didn't know. But I found a Swamp Thing right here. If you guys didn't know, this one's scented. I want to say that this one smells like rubber, if I'm not mistaken. If you're ever wondering what Swamp Thing smells like, it's probably a little bit better than you expected, but it's probably nothing great to smell, I would say. But we have some Hello Neighbor pops right here. I forgot how many of these that they made, guys, and all of these were pretty cheap. I don't know if any of these really go for any big money by any means, but this Sonic Pop was kind of an interesting one. The glow-in-the-dark one, I think it goes for around 25 to 30 bucks. Normally a Toys R Us exclusive, if I'm not mistaken, and I think I'm going to pick that one up with the discount. That's not a bad deal. This one was a pretty good one, too. After the discount, it would be like about an $18 pop. Ratchet and Clank. It goes around 50 bucks, so I think that's honestly a pretty solid pickup and a 2-pack that you don't see very often. I actually really like that 2-pack. I have it in my collection. We have Foxy the Pirate right here. The Five Nights at Freddy's pops usually do pretty well for me, and I think it's around like a $15 pop, and I think it's worth picking up. The profit isn't huge, but people love Five Nights at Freddy's pops, and they're always asking me about those ones. And then if we go in here, guys, they had some decent anime pops. More to like look through. There was a ton that I didn't really want to show off because there were so many, but they also had some Yu-Gi-Oh pops in here. Nothing that I wanted to pick up, but some older pops nonetheless, I would say. Okay, so a couple of little pickups. No bangers, unfortunately, but the sale goes on for a couple different days, so we can come back here another day and see if maybe they restock on something. We'll definitely have to come back and check. Okay, folks, I am here at the mall here for Entertain Mart number 2. Hopefully we find something good here. Okay, Entertain Mart number 2, guys, actually had some pretty solid stuff that we'll get to here in a second, but in their window display, guys, wasn't really finding much. Some stuff that they've had for a while, then on the other side they had some other things that were kind of blocked off that you didn't see unless you were going inside of the store. But in their main Funko section right here, wasn't finding a ton of different things. I know that there is some Harry Potter Patronus pops that go for a decent amount, so always be on the lookout for those. I can't remember which one it is specifically, but one of my buddies, he told me that in an Entertain Mart he found a really good soda and it was labeled as like $5. So I guess, I don't know, one of these days I might have to look through these and see if I can find a Chase maybe. This Jabberwocky's pop with the discount, not a bad one. I think I'm going to pick this one up. It goes for around 15 bucks, so it'd be like a double up. up after that discount. And then in their anime section that I don't check out very much, they had a couple of actually pretty good things over here. Batman Vegeta, kind of a borderline one, kind of looking through some of the other things that they had right here. This guy right here, I think it's Purunga from Dragon Ball Z. Honestly, it's around like a $50 pop. Maybe that one should have been one that I picked up, but they had a ton more, guys. And I'm sure that I passed up a good amount of these that were pretty good ones, but this Ken right here, Ken Kaneki right here, is a solid one. The box is a little bit faded, but for $5, I think this honestly is an automatic pickup for sure. I found another Tokyo Ghoul pop right here in the form of the other one. I'm not even going to try and say his name, but it's the half crazy looking Ken right here. Box was beat up, but for $5, this is around like a $45 pop. I still think, honestly, it's worth picking up, even though the box is pretty banged up, like I was saying. And then we also have this right here, Namira, I think, from Game of Thrones. I think this is normally like a t-shirt bundle at Hot Topic, so an interesting one nonetheless. Like I said, there was probably a couple of pops on that wall that I missed. You'll have to let me know down below if I missed anything. Some more Full Metal Alchemist stuff, some fun anime things. And guys, actually behind the counter, they had a big bin full of pops, a big cart, big box. I looked through this and I actually found a couple of things. So let me show you what I found in here because it was really good. Folks, all I gotta say is I love a good sale day. So first off, guys, I ended up buying these. These are the ones that were on the show floor, and everything was 33% off. I say show floor, well, store floor, I should say, but these are awesome finds. Granted, this one does have a little bit of a beat up box, and this one, the box is faded, but for how cheap I got all of these, we can go into value when I get back home. But guys, behind the counter, they had some goodies as well. So I had two separate transactions. I got this guy right here, guys, this 2-pack from Wicked, so 33% off. That was a great deal. Like I said, we can talk about it more when we get home. This was a fantastic find. This was chilling behind the counter for, 33% off of that. And this, not as crazy, but it's still a good find nonetheless. And yeah, I'm excited to break down value of all these, but these two right here are definitely heavy hitters for sure. Okay, folks, back at home, and I gotta say, before we head into like values and everything of this, I made a little bit of a mistake. I honestly wasn't paying attention to my budget, so after buying everything for this video, I'm actually in the negative, $13.32, which I didn't want to ever do that for this challenge, but I know that I have an auction coming up here on Monday, so that's not gonna last for long because there is some excellent value in a good majority of these. So let's break down the two thrift store finds right here, guys. We have Jack Jack and Devil Jin. Jack Jack's a really cool one. Like I said, you got this at a San Francisco Giants game as like a giveaway back in like 2018. But essentially, I think I can get about 25 for him. And then this Jin out of box was pretty cool. This is going to be like a double up as far as estimated value. I think I can get about 12. Let's head on in over to this Entertain Mart haul, guys. I love the 33% off sale, and I feel like I always find at least something decent. So after doing a little bit of research, I found out that this Sonic, I believe to be a Toys R Us exclusive. It is just missing the sticker, but it's still the glow-in-the-dark variant, and I think I can probably get about 25 for Sonic. Foxy the Pirate, I mean, fairly common for the most part, but I wanted to pick it up because Five Nights at Freddy's stuff usually do pretty well on my auction, so I think I can get about 15. Cagney, Carnation, and Cuphead, the bundle right here, not a bad one either. I mean, these were pretty cheap to pick up, but I'm thinking maybe like 12 for the bundle out of box, and then these two guys right here, the 2-pack is a pretty good one. I actually have this one in my collection. I love Ratchet & Clank, one of my favorite games growing up, but I think I can probably get about 50 for the 2-pack. And then on to the other Entertain Mart. It's funny because the one that I got these from is usually the better store location, but for some reason, this one had the heavier hitters of the lot, if you will. We'll start off with the bottom and we'll make our way over, guys. We have Slinky Dog right here. I love these, somewhat older Toy Story pops, and this is the only Slinky Dog pop that they have. I think I can get about 15 for Slinky. The Jabberwockies right here, guys, is about the same. I think I can get about 14, so a little bit over a double up for them. These ones are kind of interesting. So the Kaneki or Kaneki, I always say it wrong. We're just gonna say Ken, and also the half crazy looking Ken right here. This one does have a little bit of a faded box, but I still think it can do pretty well, especially because I sold one in my last auction and it sold for pretty good. But I mean, aside from it having that faded box, I still think I can get about 20. This one honestly is a pretty good pop. It's pretty munched on the back though, but I mean, I got it for so cheap, I think it was willing to pick up even if you kind of almost get it out of box in a way. But I still think I could probably get about 25 for this one. one. And then these two are probably the best pops that I picked up. I don't know if I mentioned this, but these were the ones that were hiding behind the counter. They had like big boxes full of stuff. And yeah, I didn't really get it on film because it was honestly behind the counter. I couldn't really go back there. But let's start off with the Wicked 2-pack. This was a great pickup for just about like $18 with the discount. And this is still a pretty sought after pop. The movie was mega popular last year. No pun intended there. But this still goes for around 70 to 75 bucks. And I'm hoping to get about 75 for it. The Tyrant is a great one as well. Considering that I spent like, I think it was like 19 or 18 bucks. I can't remember specifically. It was about the same price as this, but yeah, this is a great one. Goes for anywhere between like 100 to like 140 is what I've seen. Does have like a little bit of creases here and there, and that's kind of common with these bigger pops, but I'm hoping that I can still get about $115 for the Glow Tyrant. So for spending $104.72, I've got these at an estimated value of $403. So like I said, not going to be in the negative for long because I have my auction coming up Monday. All the links will be down below if you want to join that. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about all these really cool things I found, especially for a discount. I gotta say, guys, pretty darn good haul from Entertain Mart and a couple of different thrift stores that I went to. Like I said, if you want to buy any of these items or anything that I have in my upcoming auction, use the links down below. Hope to see you there, guys. Honestly, I think this was an awesome haul, and I'm excited to see what we get for these to buy some more Grails off my list. But let me know in the comment section below what was your favorite thing that I came across out of the stores that I went to. Also, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos like this one here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys are awesome and the best. Like always, remember to be kind of one another, always promote positivity. I will see you in the next video. Catch you guys later.